Well, good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Guess what day it is? Yeah, that's right. New hair day. Can you see it? Can you see it? What do you think? And there goes my holder just unsuctioned. It is new hair day. I'm so excited to come here, and I'm not going to apologize for being kind of absent because this is like what life does, but I am going to commit to you that I'm going to be coming to you more consistently because I have like so much to say, and like you guys will listen, and it's really exciting. But I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I do have a couple of things I want to tell you about, so definitely stick around and make sure that you stay with me till the end. But tonight, what I am really compelled to talk about is my title was not intended to be like this thing in your house could be killing you, tune in at 11, but for real, you guys, I have witnessed a lot of health and health warning signs that have been dismissed or ignored or disregarded by one too many people, honestly. For those of you that don't know, my uncle, my godfather, passed away, I guess it was about a month and a half ago. I would have to look. It's been a little under 2 months, I believe. And as many of you know, 3 years ago, 3 years ago on Friday was the anniversary of my dad passing away. And in both of these cases, these were deaths that were not expected, and not that a death that is expected is any less hard, but when you're like really not expecting it, you have no preparation time. Talk about ripping off a Band-Aid that you did not want to rip off. But I have a friend, and I'm really excited that she is doing well, but I felt like it was important to kind of come to you because it has also been just over 10 years since I had a major health issue when I wanted to talk about this in November when it's Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, but for me, every day is Pancreatic Cancer Month, or every day is Pancreatic Cancer Day. So I could talk about it anytime. And what I would say is if you haven't heard me tell my story or haven't heard my story, then there's a number of different places that I've told it. And I can either send you the link or send you the podcast that I told the story on or the Facebook Live that I did. But basically, I had some warning signs that I actually wanted to ignore. And lucky for me, I have an Italian mom that wouldn't let me ignore it, because even though she probably would have ignored it in herself, when she heard that I had abdominal pain, she's like, we're going to go get that checked out. And thank God for that, because what I was told was what they found would have likely developed into full-blown advanced pancreatic cancer by age of 40. I'm 42 now. So thank God that I talked about my symptoms and then I listened to my mom. So listen to your mom, guys, tell my kids. So, but I wanted in the last kind of like 24 to 48 hours, I kind of was reminded about how little the general public knows about warning signs of completely preventable, completely treatable conditions. So my uncle passed away about 2 months ago from sudden cardiac arrest, which means his heart stopped suddenly. And they were able to revive him, but obviously, because I was up at his funeral a couple, like I said, 6 to 8 weeks ago, that there were signs and there were symptoms and there were red flags. And the scary thing about it is that he went to see a doctor. He went up in where they live in New Jersey, and went to see a doctor in urgent care and told them that he was having chest pain, right? Chest pain where you have chest pain. I don't know if he was having other symptoms, real tired, but chest pain, hallmark sign for cardiac issues. That doctor did not do an EKG. And what I will tell you is this kind of goes along with my best friend Claudia, who, as most of you or many of you may know, has a patient advocacy business. And this is exactly why. And business or not, I would urge that anytime you go step into any kind of healthcare situation, that you know what's going on. And if you don't, that you find somebody that does, that can advocate for you. And so I unfortunately did not learn of my uncle's symptoms, his subsequent, the failure of a doctor to do an EKG on a 72-year-old man that was overweight, has diabetes, that was complaining of persistent chest pain. He gave him a prescription for Protonics and sent him on his way. He died the next day. He collapsed in the kitchen the next day. I want to say that. They were able to revive him, and he did end up passing away. And the reason I'm telling you about that is because his condition, his symptoms, 100% treatable. And that, especially being that I am his goddaughter, a phone call away, I could have helped him. And I am completely trust that the universe is unfolding the way it's supposed to. God needed my uncle there in heaven. He did not, his journey was done here on earth. But what is really unfortunate, as somebody who knows the hallmark signs and even the non-hallmark signs of cardiac issues, of a heart attack, and the abnormal symptoms, that it's not always obvious. What might seem like heartburn may not be heartburn. So if you are taking a bunch of heartburn medicine and it's not getting better, please go see somebody. And then, so I wanted to just kind of talk about, I know that there's a lot of campaigns out there about recognizing early symptoms of heart attack, recognizing early symptoms of stroke. Yet I continue to hear about people, and even people that are close to me, that are ignoring these, what I think to be clear-cut, well advertised, well published, all over the place symptoms of these potentially fatal conditions. So I just wanted to remind everyone, if something doesn't feel right or doesn't seem right, I'm not telling you be a hypochondriac, run to the doctor all the time. But if something doesn't feel right and it doesn't go away, go and talk to somebody. Talk it over with your friend, your sister, your brother, your mom, whoever that's in healthcare, your pharmacist. In all of the situations, most of this stuff is pretty straightforward. So warning signs that you could be having an issue with your heart or having a heart attack. Chest pain, usually described as crushing or pressure like an elephant sitting on your chest. Pain or numbness going down your left arm and left side, typically, because that's where the vessels run. It can also look like burning. It can feel like pain that isn't in exactly the sternal area. But that's just kind of some of the important things. 911 is that you call 911 if you're having that chest pain, and if it could be delayed or something like that, you chew a full strength aspirin as you're calling 911. Don't chew the full strength aspirin and wait a week. Same kind of thing with stroke. If you notice that you have numbness, tingling on one side specifically, not necessarily has to be left side or right side. It can be either side, depending on where you may have either a bleed that can cause a stroke or the cutoff of blood flow somewhere. So there's two kinds of strokes. You don't want to take aspirin or take something that will thin your blood if you potentially are having a stroke that is bleeding. That's because of a bleed. But numbness, weakness, sometimes paralysis, which is drooping of your face. There's some quick and easy things you can do with somebody or even with yourself if you want to see if that's what you're having. There's some neurological tests you can do. One is called an arm drift, where you hold both arms out in front of you, and if one of them is not able to stay up, that is a red flag. If you smile and only one side goes up, that's a red flag that something is wrong. Severe headache also, out of the blue, severe headache, persistent. So, and all you can do for that, time is brain. That's what we teach in ACLS, time is brain. There is a certain amount of time that if you are having a thrombotic stroke, which is where there is something blocking vessels, you have a matter of hours from the time you detect those symptoms to administering life-saving drugs. Outside of that window, you can't do it anymore because it's too risky. So this is a public service, health service, advocacy. Call me, call anybody that you know that's in healthcare if you have something that's going on and you're wondering about it. I can send you additional resources if you have questions. Check in with each other. It's a lot less worrisome and a lot less inconvenient to answer some questions that somebody asks you than it is to go visit somebody in the hospital, or God forbid, to plan and attend somebody's funeral because they didn't ask. And I know that might sound crass or might sound a little bit harsh, but that's these things. It doesn't matter how many commercials, it doesn't matter how many signs on bus stops, on billboards there are, this continues to happen. And when you think that you're inconveniencing people or you don't want to worry people, it's a lot more worrisome to walk up to your friend or family member on the floor that has collapsed. So I don't really want to end with something grim and depressing like that, but I felt it was necessary to recognize warning signs, read up on stuff. And this kind of stuff can happen at any age. As a lot of you know that are close to me, my husband, I think it's been about 4 or 5 years ago, was having very abnormal symptoms. And after being really persistent with his doctors said, "You're fine. We did the test. You're fine." And he knew something wasn't right. And when he went and pressed, they did a different kind of test. They found that he was, like significant blockages in 3 of his major arteries. One artery is referred to as the widowmaker because it is so frequently blocked and undetected until it's too late. So my husband had 3 stents put in 5 years ago, so it would have made him early 40s in relatively good health and good shape. So you're never too young to pay attention to your body. If something doesn't feel right, it's possible that it's not right. Please don't ignore. A lot of times ignored symptoms will cause irreversible damage or damage somewhere else. So on a different note, I did want to end with letting everyone know that does make it this far in that our show, Freaky Friday the Musical, is, we are still on. We are going, starting dress rehearsals next week, and next Thursday is our first show. We run from Thursday until Sunday. The dates on that, it's Thursday, December 10th, Thursday, December 10th through the 13th. We are so excited. Tickets are on sale and have been on sale for live stream and in person with social distancing. The entire cast will be wearing masks, so you will not have to worry about us getting exposed. We've been in masks the whole time and distanced, but this is going to be a phenomenal show, and I know that people need to laugh and need to be entertained, and our cast is incredibly talented. So reach out to me if you want any of those tips or any additional resources on signs and symptoms of stroke, of heart attack, of anything else, any healthcare related questions. Get yourself an advocate if you don't already have one. I may play one on TV, but I can also be yours right here and right now. So thank you, Lauren. I see that you're on. Thanks for the hair. I love it. I was wondering if it was red and green. I don't think it is, but just in time for the holidays to go along with my holiday Santa nails. So let me just say hi to everybody. Hey, Karen, good to see you. Hey, Michael, good to see you. I know you're freezing up there in Illinois. And I think you're in Indiana. Tara, so good to see you. Patrick, hey, babe. Lauren, always good to see you. Hey, Janelle, I miss you guys so much and hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye.